Did you know that you could be leaving millions of dollars on the table in GTA Online? That's probably because you're doing the wrong things to make money. So today, I will go over the top 10 best ways to make millions in GTA Online. And coming in at the number 10 spot is going to be time trial. We're just going to sum up every single time trial within this item. But before I go any further on explaining why time trials make this list, the parameters for this video are pretty simple. We are only talking about active ways to make money. So if you physically want to pick up your controller and actually play the game, and because of playing the game you directly make money, not from just sitting there and having a business running in the background, you're gonna make money. A business running in the background that you're not directly doing to actually make money, that's a passive business. We're not talking about any passive businesses in this video. But anyways, time trials coming in at the number 10 spot. So in GTA Online, there are 4 different time trials. The worst one, in my opinion, is going to be the normal time trial. And I say that one's the worst because it can be the most difficult depending on which time trial it is, but still, if you're able to complete it, it's going to be pretty much under 3 minutes. I don't think I've seen a normal time trial above 3 minutes of a par time, but when you complete it, you'll make $100,000. So in 3 minutes of work at max, you'll make $100,000, assuming you complete it on your first attempt, which is not the easiest thing to do in the world when it comes to the normal time trial. But that's the worst one. And then I'd say the next worst one would be the RC Bandito time trials. I'm saying that's the next worst one just because it's a very high barrier to entry, because you need to purchase the RC Bandito, and it's also pretty difficult too in comparison to the final 2 time trials. So for completing the RC Bandito time trial, you'll make $50,000, but you're allowed to do it every single day. The normal time trial resets every week, so every week you'll be making $100,000 assuming you complete the normal time trial. For the RC Bandito time trial, you'll make $50,000, but it resets every single day. So if you're doing it every single day, well, you can be making a lot more than the normal time trial, but I still think it's somewhat difficult. And then the final 2 are much better though. The next one is the Junk Energy time trial. The Junk Energy time trial, pretty much same thing. You get paid out $50,000 and it resets every single day. So every single day you could be making $50,000. The thing with the Junk Energy time trial is that you don't need any sort of barrier to entry. There's no barrier to entry at all. All you have to do is just go to the location and that's it. You can just do the time trial. But the best one, in my opinion, is going to be the HSW time trial. It resets every week like the normal time trial, but instead of paying out $100,000, it pays out $250,000. So that's just a rough summarization of all of these different time trials, but they're all good and they're all very quick to do. If you're a low level, you can easily do like the Junk Energy time trial. If you're an experienced player, you have a lot of money, well, it's still beneficial for you to quickly spend like 3 minutes of your time to do an HSW time trial and you make $250,000. So every single week, if you're failing to do an HSW time trial, well, you're just leaving $250,000 right there on the table for only 3 minutes of your time. So yeah, pretty much that is why time trials are making this list. But anyways, let's move on. To the number 9 money-making method. The number 9 money-making method is going to be the hanger. Now, the hanger is going to operate very different than a time trial. The time trials are very quick, mostly easy to do. Pretty much get your money very quickly, and then you can just move on with your life. Hanger, very, very different. Pretty much how the hanger works is you need to go out and you need to go steal a certain product. There's many different products to select from. Some products are going to be worth more than others if you accumulate a certain amount of those products. The best items to steal for the hanger are going to be narcotics, chemicals, or medical supplies, because if you get the maximum amount of units for those, which will be 50 units for one of those products, then you'll be getting a 70% bonus on the base amount. So every single product, no matter which one it is going to be worth $30,000. But once you get a certain amount of that product, then it's going to give you a boost. So as I was saying earlier, the best boosts that you can get are going to be with the narcotics, chemicals, and medical supplies, because like I said, if you have 50 units of one of those products, you'll get a 70% bonus. Anyways, if you have 50 units of those products, when you sell them all off, you'll be making $2,550,000, which is a lot of money. That's a lot of money. But the only downside with this is that it's going to take a little bit of time to accumulate all that product. And another downside with this business too is that the actual process of accumulating all of those crates or all those products, it's a little bit tedious, it's a little bit boring, but it is very profitable. It is definitely very profitable if you do it very quickly. It's probably going to take you anywhere between like 2 to 4 hours, probably more like 3 to 4 hours to accumulate all 50 crates to sell. But nonetheless, it is still very, very profitable. But anyways, let's move on to the number 8 money-making method. And the number 8 money-making method is going to be the CEO crate warehouses. Very similar to how the hanger works. You have to go out and you have to get products, except with the CEO crate warehouse, you don't get the option to select what products products you're getting, they are all worth the same, unless if you get a special item. Special items are gonna be worth more, but you have to sell them separately. But aside from that, they're all gonna be worth the same. But yeah, the crate warehouse, all you gotta do is just go out, start up a mission, go out, collect the crates, and then bring it back to the warehouse. And pretty much you gotta do that over and over again until you want to sell. But yeah, the only real downside with the CEO warehouses is that, kind of similar to the hangar, the setups or acquiring all that product is a little bit tedious, is a little bit boring. I think another thing too with the CEO warehouse is that the sell mission, well, sometimes you might need multiple players, so maybe not the most solo friendly thing to do, but nonetheless you can still be very, very profitable with the CEO crate warehouses. And assuming you're selling in a private lobby, a full special cargo warehouse, which is 111 crates, sells for a base price of $2,220,000. So yes, absolutely very, very profitable, but like I said, you're gonna have to go out and get the supplies yourself. But anyways, let's move on to the number 7 item on this list. And now the number 7 item on this list is gonna be very different from the last two businesses. Those last two money-making methods, they really were very similar to each other. Just go out, acquire product, steal the product, and then sell it. Number 7 is very different. It's gonna be auto shop contracts. Now the auto shop contracts, they essentially operate like a mini heist. And what I mean by that is you have 2 setup missions and then you have a finale mission. Now normal heists, they usually take at least an hour and 30 minutes on up to 3 hours, but the auto shop contracts, they take more like 30 to 45 minutes to do, mostly 30 minutes. So very quick and easy to do. So with the auto shop contracts, there are 8 different quote unquote heists that you can do, but the best one by far is going to pay out by far the most is going to be the Union Depository contract. If you do the Union Depository contract, you'll be getting paid $300,000. And with the Union Depository contract, for me personally, I can do a Union Depository contract in right around 20 minutes. So getting $300,000 in 20 minutes, it's actually very, very efficient. But you can't repeat the same auto shop contract back to back, which is a little bit annoying, or at least you can't do it easily. You're gonna have to like trick the game in order to get it back. But yeah, anyways, $300,000 in 20 minutes, that's a pretty good way to make money. So that's definitely why it's making this list. Not a huge upside, but very efficient way to make money. So that's why it's making this list. But anyways, let's move on to number 6. So the number 6 item on this list is going to be like a little bit of an upgrade to the auto shop contract, and that's going to be the salvage yard robbery. Very similar to an auto shop contract and how it operates very similarly to like a mini heist. It's just like another extra 15 minutes compared to the auto shop contracts. But yeah, with the salvage yard robberies, the thing that's very unique and different with the salvage yard robberies is that you have 3 different ones that you can do that week. So you have to go out and steal a car and then bring it back and then sell it off, or at least for the maximum amount of profits. You're only allowed to do that 3 times, and each 3 are going to be different values. So that's a little bit of a downside, but overall, it's a higher floor in comparison to the auto shop contracts. You can get some bonuses with these 2. If you complete all the bonus objectives during the robbery, then you have a potential to make another $50,000. So for doing a salvage yard robbery, you can make anywhere between $300,000 and $400,000 per vehicle that you sell. So yeah, that is why this is definitely making this list. It's a little bit of a higher floor in comparison to the auto shop. So that's why it's making it slightly higher on the list. But anyways, let's move on to the number 5 item. So the number 5 item on this list is going to be our first true heist, and it's going to be the Diamond Casino heist. Now, this is the first thing on this list that is truly going to need multiple players. The only other thing that you can make an argument that you need multiple players, which honestly you probably do need multiple players, is going to be the special cargo warehouse sell missions, but that's only for the sell missions itself. And sometimes that you might only have one sell vehicle, just depending on which sell mission that you get. But the Diamond Casino heist, no matter what, you're going to need at least 2 players to do that with. But anyways, the Diamond Casino heist, it is a very, very profitable way to make money in GTA Online. Now, how long does it take to complete a Diamond Casino heist? Just kind of depends on you. I think it takes roughly like an hour and 30 minutes just completely by myself. Now, if I had someone helping me out during the setups, it could be a lot more profitable, but assuming it's only me in the setups, it's probably going to take anywhere between an hour and 30 to 2 hours. But the payouts, it could range just depending on what your primary target is. Assuming you're the heist leader and you take 85% of the pay, which is the default that the game sets up right at the beginning of the heist, you'll probably make $1 million, roughly $1 million, if your primary target is cash. If your primary target is artwork, you're probably sitting like right at anywhere between 1.3 and 1.4 million. And if your primary target is gold, you're probably sitting right at 1.5 million, something like that. So if you see something other than cash, you're going to be having a good time. Cash, I mean, obviously you're still profitable with cash, but it's just not going to be as much money as artwork and gold. So yeah, you really want to see artwork and gold. But yeah, honestly, one of the reasons why it's a little bit lower on this list is the fact that you might need multiple players, or you will need multiple players in order to complete the heist. And that can be a little bit interesting, assuming that you're trying to get random players to join you. If you have a friend that knows what they're doing, great. If you get lucky and a person joins you that knows what they're doing, great. But a lot of the time, you could be getting someone that doesn't know what they're doing, and that could just make it a complete disaster of a time trying to complete this heist. So it kind of just depends on who joins. Yeah, pretty recently, I've done a decent amount of Diamond Casino heist, and yeah, like the people that have been joining have been very interesting, to say the least. And yeah, it's been a wild time. It's been definitely a wild time. Definitely losing my mind a lot recording those Lose Your Luxury episodes when we do a Diamond Casino heist, just depending on who joins. But if you get someone that's, like I said, knows what they're doing, it's a very smooth process, and you'll be making a lot of money. But anyways, let's move on to the next item. The next thing on this list is going to be the Cluckenbell farm rate. Now, the Cluckenbell farm rate is one of the best ways to make money as a low level, and it's even coming in at the number 4 spot on this list, which is pretty crazy because, I mean, you can do this as a level 1 just straight off the bat. You don't need any sort of business or anything like that. Just at the end of the day, you need to know what you're doing, and well, if you know what you're doing, you can get a quick start in GTA Online with the Cluckenbell farm rate. But how much of a quick start are we talking about? Well, the Cluckenbell farm rate should probably take you anywhere between like 45 minutes to an hour if you're doing everything efficiently. And then for the actual raid itself, you'll get paid out $500,000. And then if you're doing it for the first time too, you'll get first time bonuses, all that stuff. You'll get a $250,000 first time bonus. So first time you do the Cluckenbell farm raid, you'll be making $750,000. That is fantastic starting out in the game, but we're not really talking about this just starting out as a level 1. Still, even like, I don't know, let's just say I probably average out like at 50 minutes for doing a Cluckenbell farm raid. 50 minutes to do a Cluckenbell farm raid and make $500,000. That is absolutely efficient, and it's not the hardest thing to do in the world. So yeah, the Cluckenbell farm raid, very great way to make money as a low level. But actually, the next item that we need to get into is another great way that we can make money as a low level. And the next item that we're going to get into is going to be the No Way Out mission. And this came out very, very recently. It's not even, it's right at 3 months old as I'm recording this right now. But anyways, the No Way Out missions, it operates very similarly to the Cluckenbell farm raid. You just go in, kind of do some setups, and then you have a grand finale right at the end. And the finale itself pays out $525,000. But the X factor with the No Way Out missions is that if you complete the Elite Challenge, you'll get an extra $100,000. So you could potentially be walking away with $625,000. And it roughly takes me like 50 minutes to do a No Way Out mission set. So yeah, $625,000 for doing it. It's actually pretty good. Very, very good as a low level. Also, same thing. If you're a level 1, you can do the No Way Out missions, and yeah, you'll be making a lot of money very quickly on your new account in GTA Online. So yeah, this and the Cluckenbell farm rate, great ways to make money as a low level, but also great ways to make money just in general. But anyways, let's move on to the second best way to make money in GTA Online. And the second best way to make money in GTA Online is going to be the Dr. Dre contract. So you unlock the Dr. Dre contract by purchasing an agency, and then after you do a security contract at the agency, you'll then unlock the VIP contract, which is going to be the Dr. Dre contract. So essentially, Dr. Dre was being silly, lost his phone, and his phone had a bunch of unreleased music, and then whoever took his phone shared the unreleased music to a few people. So essentially what we're doing is we're going out there, we're recovering all the music, and then we are taking out the guy who originally stole the music, or at least we're attempting to. But anyways, Dr. Dre, he pays out very well. He pays us very, very well, because all that should take you anywhere between like an hour and 10 to an hour and 30 minutes. But the final payday is $1 million. And then not to mention for all those missions too, before the grand finale payout, you'll make like $100,000. So essentially in total, $1,100,000 for doing the Dr. Dre contract. Thank you very much, Dr. Dre. I will take that money very gratefully. So yeah, the Dr. Dre contract, when I need to make a lot of money actively in this game, I definitely go out and I do the Dr. Dre contract. I do it a lot. I am very experienced experience with this because, well, there's a lot of videos where I need to make a lot of money. So yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Dre, for all your money. And that is why Dr. Dre in his pockets for paying us to go recover his phone. That is why this is coming in at the number 2 spot. But anyways, what is the best way to make money actively in GTA Online? That is going to be probably no shock to any of you. It's going to be the Cayo Perico heist. Now, the Cayo Perico heist, you're going to need a Kasatka. Once you have the Kasatka, you'll have access to do a Cayo Perico heist. So essentially, you just go out, you find what the primary target is, you try to set up the heist itself, and then at the end, for the finale, you're ready to go over to the island, and you'll pretty much steal the primary target, and then there's also secondary loot that you can get, and you leave out of there, and it takes me in particular like 50 minutes. I'd say 50 minutes, but it's probably going to take most people anywhere between 50 minutes and an hour. The payout for the Cayo Perico heist is going to be roughly $1,100,000. That's pretty much going to be consistent for every single primary target unless you have the pink diamond. If you have the pink diamond, your payout's going to be closer to 1.4 million. So if you get the pink diamond, heck yeah, congratulations, you're getting a good payday. But if you don't, fine, you're still making a lot of money, roughly $1.1 million in roughly an hour. Yeah, that's great. That is absolutely great. And it's not that hard to do either. So if you just need to sit there and grind money, you can put on a podcast, you can listen to that podcast, or you can watch Dr. Crush YouTube videos. Yeah, that's what I should be recommending you. What? Yeah, just sit there, watch one of my videos, and do a Cayo Perico heist in the background. And guess what? You're getting entertained by me, but then in the background, you're mindlessly playing GTA Online and you're making money. So then you can have enough money to go purchase some other stuff that you would like, and then you can have fun messing around with those cool stuff that you just bought. So how about that? What a great idea that I just had for you. Put on one of my big videos in the background, do a Cayo Perico heist, do a Dr. Dre contract, and you'll be making over $2 million. And you'll be getting entertained by me. How about that? What a day. What a day for you. You are so welcome. Even still, if you just do the Dr. Dre contract and the Cayo Perico heist back to back, you'll be making $2 million in roughly 2 hours and 20 minutes, something like that. Oh yeah, but back to the Cayo Perico heist. One downfall with the Cayo Perico heist is that the cooldown is a lot more than a lot of other things in GTA Online. The cooldown for the Cayo Perico heist, assuming you're doing it solo, which is very important, is going to be 144 minutes. So that's 2 hours and 24 minutes. If you do the Cayo Perico heist with multiple players, the cooldown's only 48 minutes. But even still, just doing a contract and then doing a Cayo Perico heist, very, very profitable. So yeah, that is the 10 best ways to make money in GTA Online in 2026. There's so many different good ways to make money in this game. If you're getting a little bit sick and tired of a Cayo Perico heist, well, you can drop back and you can do a Diamond Casino heist just to do something a little different. You'll still make a lot of money. So yeah, hopefully now after this video, you have the knowledge to go out there and make money actively in GTA Online in the best ways possible. So definitely use these ways that I just mentioned in this video to go out and make some money so you can purchase whatever items that you would like. But anyways, it's going to do it for this video. Make sure you